So I want to get back to music real quick. Tell me some of the people that you met with your involvement in music, like some of the superstars that you met, some of the starstruck moments that you might have had, other than the one with Nas. Some of the relationships that you forged with your music.
I met everyone from our generation and after, not the current one, not the ones that my son's like. I haven't met these guys, but I've met everyone that I was a fan of. I met them and I had a conversation with them, and they were aware of who I was, which was humbling to me because I don't feel like I've put in enough work. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the love they showed me. So I met everybody. People I looked up to, they let me down. You know what I mean? Like I found out they was complete widows. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody, but certain few that I met, I put on a pedestal, and I met them. I was like, oh, you spit that nigga. You know what I mean? That's
I've seen you with some pictures with some of my favorites. Jada Kiss.
Yeah, I love it. Love
I think I seen you in a picture with Raekwon.
Yeah, love Ray.
You know, I seen you on stage with some of New Jersey's hip hop legends. One of my favorite groups, back then, Lords of the Underground.
Yeah.
Tell us about the relationship with the New Jersey faction of hip hop contributors.
I think they embraced me like a younger brother. I came a generation after them, so not many made it in my generation to the forefront like I did. So I guess they embraced me. Like I never waited for a handout. Never asked them for anything ever. I never asked them to put me on, nothing like that. And they'll tell you that. So I think they respected me a lot more than my contemporaries. So that's me being self-sufficient was what made the camaraderie.
I can't tell how long ago it was, but it was you and I think Do It All was on stage killing it. Chief Rocker.
Yeah. I love
that. That was one of them songs where if you had a booming system back then, the way you could test how ill your system was to play that Chief Rocker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shout out to Do It All, Lords of the Underground. Shout out to Naughty by Nature.
Shout out to KG. KG gave me one of the hardest beats of all time. You know what I mean? I don't know why he gave it to me. He bestowed it upon me. I always wanted a KG beat, and he just gave it to me.
That's dope.
I bonkers on that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to KG.
That's dope. So,
man, I called him. He did talk on my shit. So, I just love him.
So is that something soon to come?
Yeah, it's done. You know what I mean? I gotta, just take care of an issue with my sister, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then approach the big homies and see if we can do the video for it. And put it on iTunes and go crazy with it.
Well, listen, man. When you ready, we can definitely set something up where we can come back on here or another platform and do a promo for it. You know what I mean? I definitely love to do something like that. Now, we talked about the music. We talked about the artwork. Let's get into the clothing.
Yeah.
I see a shirt that you have on. Right? Yeah. And I'm almost positive that shirt was designed by the Renaissance man himself, like Mr. Renaissance. If you use that name as a title for any of your albums, I just want like 0.3%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's some fly shit. Renaissance man, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, that's
fly shit.
That's the only way to describe a cat that can do all, because that can do everything. You know what I mean? Artistically. You know what I mean?
That actually got me my head big, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So talk about what switched gears into you getting into fashion.
I didn't have clothes growing up, and I didn't know that I could tune into myself and come up with ideas to, like, I think that's where my ingenuity come from, all the suffering. You know, it's like I had to make do with what I have. So now I focus on solutions as opposed to the problems. I'm like, you know what? I don't like to close this out. I make my own shit. You know, that's what happened essentially.
And I've actually seen some people, you know, on social media supporting the brand, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Love's overwhelming.
You know what I mean? So you definitely are well, you know, well, your brand is well received, from music to the artwork to the fashion. So how does that feel, a kid coming up from humble beginnings, as most of us did growing up in the Essex County area? Like, I'm originally from Newark, lived in Irvington, lived in Hillside, you know, parents from another country, so they really ain't understand what fashion was and what, you know, trends were. They could care less about it. Whatever was in style was what they could afford, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Every night, that's it, nigga.
And you had somewhere to come and eat and lay your head. That's all they cared about. You know what I mean? So growing up, what was that like for you? 'Cause I know it was hell for us. It was me and my two brothers. Shout out to Spencer and Rye. You know, we didn't start getting shit until we got jobs. You know what I mean? So
not broke. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Or I had to go on the street and get my money, but it was hellacious. Like, I used to get torn to shreds. Like, the women wasn't feeling me at all. I was getting hiked down by the guy. That's how I learned how to hike. You know what I mean? From getting trashed every day. You know what I'm saying? Now, I roast your ass so bad. You know what I'm saying? So, I learned from childhood. You know what I'm saying? That's where the bars come from. That's where the battle rap. I can think like this. And, so, yeah, that came from not having it. You know, so it's like now I'm in a position where I can just create something in my mind, and it's like I bring money to fruition. It's a blessing, man.
So you mentioned battle rap, right? Battle rap is, a lot of it is freestyle, but I learned that some of them cats really write what they be battling. You know what I mean? So now there's a video of you on, with Static Selector, and I want to say it was Shade 45, Sirius XM Radio.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, that I'm not going to act like I'm from Krypton. Right? I wrote them the lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, that was off the top of the head. But I just got signed to E1 through Divine Order Entertainment. That's Baby Paul from the Beat Miners.
True.
And yeah, he signed me to his label, and as coronation, we went to State 45, and they gave me 5 minutes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to spew as much venom as I possibly can, and that's what I did.
The steady reinvention of yourself is amazing. So just when I guess everybody thought that your artistic skills had reached its peak, you then, I think I called you, or we were talking or texting or whatever. You was like, yo, I'm on my way to New York to either an audition or a rehearsal, or you were filming on set, right? And when I researched what it was, that, I forget the brother's name. I believe he's a Haitian brother who put together Money and Violence.
Yeah, Mo. Shout out to Mo. Love Mo.
Let me tell you something. I never heard the word binge watch. When Money and Violence came out,
it's crazy.
Somebody put me onto it. They was like, yo, the show is dope. First episode I ever watched, I was like, yo, this shit is retarded. It's ridiculous. Like, everything is bad about it. It's just terrible. But then I was like, yo, I couldn't get enough of this shit. Pause. So it was like, I stayed up for hours and hours and hours watching this goddamn series, Money and Violence, and I couldn't get enough of the joint, which speaks to the genius of Mo and Cloud9 TV, I believe it is.
Yep.
But what endeared me to it was the fact that he didn't know how to film. He didn't know nothing about cameras. He did what you did in terms of YouTube University and learning how to paint for you.
I'm doing them like this.
He learned how to produce films and edit and all that on YouTube on his own, and I respect that hustle. And then I also learned that that whole cast and crew, I don't think anybody had acting experience. They just trusted his vision.
Yep.
They trusted his vision. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for that, all due respect, and I was all in. Season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So tell us how that opportunity came about for you.
My friend, my sister, Bobby, shout out to Bobby. I love you, kid. We gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be alright. Love you, my nigga. She was on Money and Violence like twice. You know what I mean?
Oh, word.
Yeah, so she's friends with the cast, and from then on, we followed each other on Instagram, I believe, and they saw that I acted in DJ Khaled's video and Yo Gotti Don't Come Around video, so I guess that's when they asked me to audition. So I auditioned for my role, and I was fortunate enough to get on there.